Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. In this video series, I'm on a solo road trip to Keswick in Lake District from Kent. So far, I have driven for over 1,000 miles. Total driving time of about 26 hours, and that's not including the times I got lost and the distance I got lost. I started an art journal in this road trip and tried to fill at least one page every day, in a very relaxed sketching style with mainly coloured pencils and watercolours. I also used gouache sometimes. My first stop was the Sherwood Forest, then I went to the Snowdonia National Park in North Wales, and I climbed the first of the three peaks, the Snowdon Summit. Next stop was the Yorkshire Dales National Park. After leaving the Yorkshire Dales, I drove to Keswick in Lake District. As I left the Yorkshire Dales, the weather changed completely and the rain clouds came over. This is British summer. I'm used to it. Wet, cloudy and unpredictable. But I decided to visit as I planned all the places anyway. So I have reached the final destination of my road trip, the Lake District. So for the rest of the videos in this travel vlog, I'll be taking you around the Lake District National Park. Today I'm visiting the house of another very interesting artist. She wasn't just an artist, but a natural scientist and a writer. She lived in this village, in this house. She was Beatrix Potter, and this was her house and her garden in the Hilltop Farm. I feel like I have completed my walk in following the footsteps of Beatrix Potter, learning and understanding her fascinating life story as well as her art and her brilliant mind. Last year I visited Kensington, where she was born, and then I went to the Victoria and Albert Museum, where some of her original artwork is still well preserved. Now here I am in the house where she spent the rest of her life after the fame of Peter Rabbit. From Kensington in London to Keswick in the Lake District is a very long journey. And in a time without the modern vehicles, it must have been such a long journey on train and by horse carriages. Not only that, it's a complete contrast of environment and also very different society and company. Reading about Beatrix Potter's life story, I can understand why she moved here. Here it feels so tranquil and so close to the nature. She had a big garden and a small house in comparison. So many flowers blooming, wisteria vines sacrificing the fragrance in the moist air, bean pods dancing in the wind, in the vegetable plot. I can see why she fell in love with this place and wanted to move far, far away from the London society. Beatrix Potter and Norman Vaughan were engaged to be married. Norman Vaughan was her publisher who encouraged her to publish her first novel, The Tale of Peter Rabbit. He was also beginning his career as a publisher in his family publishing business, and she was starting her career as a writer. Together, they made Peter Rabbit come alive. Later, they fell in love and got engaged to be married. This house in Lake District was where they had planned to live after marriage. It was a sweet fairy tale love story. But Beatrix Potter's mother did not approve of this engagement. She considered Norman Vaughan beneath their class. She asked Beatrix to reconsider the engagement numerous times, and in the end, she separated Beatrix and Norman for a short period. But sadly, during this period of separation, Norman Vaughan became very ill. At the time, the medical technology was not advanced to detect illness early, and Norman died of what we now call leukemia. After Norman's death, Beatrix was heartbroken and depressed. She threw herself into her work and art as a source of comfort. Then eventually she bought this house they both dreamt of having and lived here until her death. Being here today, I can truly understand her feelings, and here I felt so connected to the nature. The hilltop farm is a far away place from the civilization in London, and this countryside, however, is full of life, just as busy as London, but in a nicer, calmer, tranquil way. Here, it is perfect place to heal a broken soul. Art helps to connect with nature, truly, madly and deeply. The more I spent time in nature, the more I was fascinated by the plants, birds and all living creatures in it. I can relate to that feeling here. And it was so interesting to find this lady sketching in the garden too, just like I did in the same garden. A kindred spirit. The nature has an endless supply of inspiration in its sheer diversity. The natural world evokes a sense of wonder, curiosity, and harmony within me. And this connection with nature has a profound impact in our soul. Beatrix Potter doesn't have a grave. She wasn't buried. After her death, Beatrix Potter was cremated, and her ashes were spread in this Lake District, in this land that she loved so much.